Like, what is going on in St. Helens?
That is the question a lot of St. Helens parents and students are asking as police expand their investigation to include even more people working in the school district. Coming up, Thomas Schultz has the latest on this situation, all stemming from allegations of sexual abuse. Plus,
so we have a real public-private partnership looking at bringing Major League Baseball.
Mayor-elect Keith Wilson says Portland really is moving closer to adding a Major League Baseball team. We'll break down the latest in a live report.
Plus, Thanksgiving less than a week away at this point, which means airports are gearing up for a busy week of travel. More on what's expected to be a record-breaking travel season coming up as the 6 o'clock hour of sunrise starts right now.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Friday. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. It is a Friday before Thanksgiving. We've got a busy weekend ahead as far as grocery shopping is concerned, Rob.
Yes, that's exactly right. All right, out and about today. It's been steady rain overnight. We have picked up the ½ of an inch plus that we thought we would. And in the coming hours, you're going to start to notice the steady rain continually break into more of a showery day, and that's what we'll have moving forward. The headline is a south wind threat once again. Wind warnings up and down the coast in red for the potential of 50 to 60 mile per hour gusts. Again, kind of garden variety stuff for you folks. And then we've got the wind advisory, which is more of a headline for, hey, it's going to be a blustery, noticeably windy at times kind of day, but nothing overly concerning. This includes Albany, Salem, up through Woodburn, McMinnville, but not Portland for gusts 35 to 45 miles per hour. The main threat hours of the highest wind speeds today I look for starting about 8 o'clock this morning, a couple hours away, and then through about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Here is the rain breaking up south of Eugene. So again, the steady rain early this morning, yeah, still really wet outside, will be breaking into showery weather. Good visibility, and it's warm out. Remember, we're getting all this because of a push of warm air. It's 50 degrees outside right now. We'll be mid-50s, maybe upper 50s at noon with showers and noticeably breezy to gusty south winds. And then not as windy, but still breezy, 52 with showers going into your evening. Here's Chris.
Rod, we take you out to Northeast Gleason. Photojournalist Chad Dehart on the scene here of what looks like an injury crash near 94th Avenue. Traffic is getting by, but there is some local slowing around that. Meanwhile, on the freeways, eastbound I-84 plugged up now with a crash that has 2 lanes blocked near 47th Avenue. And you get a look at some of the backup here. It's about a 1.5 mile delay on eastbound I-84. So skip that if you can. And also heads up on the travel through the Oregon Coast Range. ODOT drone video from yesterday showing this area of sunken grade on Oregon Highway 6, just a couple of miles west of Glenwood. Guys, they're working on repairs, but until they're fully done with that, they are alternating 1 lane of traffic through the area. So for the 4,000 or 5,000 people that use this stretch of roadway every day, obviously you can expect some momentary delays as they continue with that lane closure. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Chris. Here's our top headline at 6 o'clock. A total of 7 people are now under investigation in the St. Helens School District.
Police are looking into 2 teachers who were arrested last week and charged with sex abuse against students. Yesterday, they announced that they are also investigating an unnamed middle school teacher as well. The State Department that looks into reports of child abuse is also investigating the school district superintendent and St. Helens High School principal to see if they're guilty of negligence for failing to report abuse. And it's also investigating 2 other staff members accused of sex abuse.
Thomas Schultz is covering this story for us this morning. So, Thomas, what do we know about this middle school teacher that's now under investigation?
Well, China and Drew, we're learning that investigation into the unnamed teacher comes after the police department received a report from the school district alleging criminal conduct involving a student. That teacher has since been placed on administrative leave. In a brief virtual board meeting, the vice chair acknowledged the crisis the school district is facing and says anyone with concerns should get in touch with police or make an anonymous report through Oregon's child abuse hotline.
Our students rely on the adults in our schools to ensure a safe, welcoming school environment. Their well-being is our highest priority.
Though some parents say they've lost trust in administration and with every report come closer and closer to pulling their kids from the district.
I think that they should always take even the smallest complaint seriously because chances are there's more than one kid that something's happening to. They just need to listen more.
At the same time, other parents are partnering with students demanding accountability and change.
There's just no excuse as a mandatory reporter, a human being, a parent, a teacher. There's just no reason. That's my personal opinion. There's just no reason to not be reporting child abuse, sex abuse.
We need all the support we can get because we don't want this happening to anyone else.
And as of right now, both the St. Helens superintendent and high school principal are on paid administrative leave. The school board is expected to name a new acting superintendent on Monday. China.
Thomas, thank you. Families in the Albany School District are calling for the entire school board to resign because the teacher strike that's been going on for the past 2 weeks. Yesterday, hundreds of protesters marched to the district office to reinforce those calls for the board to resign. This after a parent started a petition, now with over 1,000 signatures, to make it happen. Meanwhile, contract negotiators between the union and the district are ongoing. The two sides have reached agreements on certain issues, but prep time for teachers remains a main point of contention. There is no school today. There is no school all next week because of planned days off and the Thanksgiving holiday. It's unclear right now if mediation will continue next week, but if the union and district do reach a deal during that time, students' first day back would be Monday, December 2nd.
All right, next up here this morning, officials in Multnomah County released a 5-year general fund forecast, and the bottom line is the numbers don't look good.
Yeah, so during a board meeting this week, the county announced that it is facing a $21.2 million deficit in its general fund for the next fiscal year. County economist Jeff Renfro points to a drop in expected property tax revenue, saying many property owners are having trouble renting out space and selling buildings for a lower value than they were pre-pandemic.
Because of the decline in downtown property values, our property tax revenue growth has been so low, it's just not supporting the continuation of some of this programming. We've come out of this period of high inflation that really increased our expenses, and our most important revenue source, which we need to grow at a certain pace to continue to cover that, just is not doing that.
He goes on to say that cuts to services may be the only solution. The board will have 3 new commissioners that will help sort out the details next year. They must approve the budget by June. The Oregon City Public Library is making it easier for people with mobility issues to access its services with a new program called Library by Mail. It allows people who are homebound to have books delivered straight to their door. So here's how it works. You fill out an application, and once approved, library staff will mail items every 2 weeks in reusable canvas bags with prepaid return labels. To qualify, you must have a library card and live within the library's service area. Turning to holiday travel now, from Monday, November 26th to Monday, December 2nd. AAA predicts 5.8 million people will fly and 71.7 million will drive somewhere for Thanksgiving. So in total, that's about 80 million people on the roads or on the skies throughout the week. All predictions point to this being a record-breaking travel season on top of an already record-breaking travel year. Here's NBC's Tom Costello with more.
Thanksgiving is still days away, but this morning many Americans are already headed out the door. The nation's airports bracing for the busiest Thanksgiving travel rush in history.
We are a week out from Thanksgiving, and TSA is expecting a potentially record-breaking holiday travel season.
That includes a 6% increase at TSA checkpoints compared to last year.
This year has already been the busiest in TSA history. All 10 of our top busiest days in our 23 years have occurred since the 24th of May of this year.
Last summer, the TSA screened 3 million passengers in a day for the first time ever. It's expecting to break that record again over Thanksgiving, with Tuesday, Wednesday, and the Sunday after projected to have the greatest passenger volumes. But snow and wet weather are already impacting travel. A snowstorm in Chicago on Thursday led to a 65% delay rate at O'Hare, while rain in Boston delayed a quarter of the flights. Meanwhile, crews on the West Coast are still cleaning up debris after a bomb cyclone hit the region earlier this week, creating dangerous conditions on the roads. The Washington State Department of Transportation still advising drivers to avoid travel over mountain passes there.
Over 70% of Americans planning to hit the road. Not a surprise with gas prices now at their lowest Thanksgiving level since 2020.
And AAA says gas prices are actually down on average nationally by about 25 cents compared to this time last year, with more than half of the country paying $3 or less per gallon. But even with a full tank, drivers should be prepared to hit the brakes.
If traffic is usually bad where you live when it's not a holiday, double that, and it's probably going to be that over Thanksgiving.
Rod, can I ask you a bit of a random and also personal question?
I love it. Yes, fire away.
I will not repeat your answer. I know the viewers won't repeat it either, so please be honest. Is there anyone coming to your Thanksgiving feast next Thursday that you wish wasn't coming, that you really don't want to spend time with?
Oh, no, that's an easy one. No.
Darn, maybe it's easy, but
They're
it's
no fun.
It's not the fun. It's not the fun response I was hoping for.
There are actually people not coming that we wish they were, but they're not able to this year.
You are a sweet individual.
So, you like the house filled with people over the holidays, right? And my grandfather used to always say, glad to see you come, gladder to see you go, though, however, right? When it's quitting time, get out of here. All right, here's a look at our watch warning map. We've got the wind bullseye for maybe 50, 60 mile per hour winds along the coast today. And right now, the Weather Service, and this could change, has a wind advisory from north of Eugene all the way up to about Wilsonville and McMinnville. So not including Portland, but Salem, Woodburn, Albany. All of us are going to experience heavy showers at times today as the steady rain breaks into showers. And the blustery winds, generally in the valley 15 to 30, some gusts to 40, right? Just a blustery day, not overly concerning, but impactful as you're out and about doing things. I think the highest wind speeds ease after 2 o'clock, and then we'll be into a continuation of showers of more like 10 to 20 mile per hour breezes this evening and overnight tonight. We have seen south winds as high as 30 along the coast this morning. Here are the current speeds. And what's kind of humorous is that you folks in Troutdale, you've already hit a gust of 41. But it's an east wind right now, and you're used to that, so you're not warned or watched or advised for anything. It's just business as usual right now in the gorge. 67 mile per hour east winds at Crown Point and the Vista House overnight. Those winds in the gorge are somewhere around mid-morning or late morning will fade as the overall wind direction becomes south, and that will actually bring lighter winds to the gorge. Big low offshore is the reason for the fetch of south winds that will pick up in the 8 o'clock hour. We're seeing drying around Eugene and to the south. So we've had a half of an inch plus of rain overnight. The steady stuff is going to be breaking in scattered showers through the mid-morning hours. From the Pioneer Park building, the bricks are obviously wet downtown, and it's 50 degrees because, again, this has been a warm front. So the KGW weather impact alert for the high wind warning with temperatures in the 50s and maybe a rumble of thunder today with showers at the coast. And the KGW weather impact alert for the mid to south valley for the wind advisory, also breaking in showers today. Did you see the warm temps? 57 Salem, 57 Portland. Wow. And then it's more of just kind of 10 to 20 mile per hour breezes, showers coming and going over the weekend. We still think we dry out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thanksgiving. And right now there is the chance that the entire holiday weekend will be dry. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you should be thanked for that. That would be awesome. All right, we've got some trouble right now on Interstate 84 eastbound. The left and the center lane still blocked with a crash here. You can see the flashing lights off in the distance. Traffic is stacked up a little bit here getting around this. We've got about a 2 or 3 mile delay, or 2 mile delay right now. Whoops, let's skip that on Interstate 84 eastbound. So skip this if you can. Hop on past the Hollywood District and you will get around that backup on the eastbound Banfield. China.